It was very exciting, and uh, I really hope that once I do come back, I am actually going to be able to volunteer to actually become a leader because this was really fun, and I really want other people to feel the same way as some of us have already been feeling today, because I'm pretty sure everyone has been laughing and smiling and joking around, and I like it. I hope that other people get to feel the same way.
So I literally loved this. It actually makes me really sad because this is my last year and this was also the only year that I got to join, but Galarza always told me to go and I never went. So I'm sorry, Galarza, I should have listened to you and I should have went all those times. But since I went like now, and it was like virtual, it still had a really good effect on me. And I like had a lot of fun with my leaders, and I had Castro in my group, which I mean, how can it not be fun if he's in there? So yeah, it was overall really great.
Good evening, students, families, and community members, and welcome to the Coalition for Positive Youth Development's annual youth-led town hall meeting. On April 16th, 2014, the first Coalition town hall meeting was held, and since 2015, the youth of our community have led this event. When the town hall started, there was only the D211 Yak. The Elk Grove Yak joined this effort shortly after, and this year, for the first time ever, we have 4 Yaks planning this event. Now, in case you were wondering, YAC has traditionally stood for a Youth Advisory Committee. But this past year, the D211 YAC, the YAC that I am part of, changed our name to Youth Advocates for Change to reflect our efforts related to equity, justice, and positive mental health. But before we go any further, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Sanjana Rajesh, and I'm a senior at Conant. I've been involved in D211's YAC since I was a sophomore, and I'm currently a YAC leader. I'm so glad that I've been part of YAC for the past couple years. I've learned about what it's like to build a community that brings people together, and all of us YAC members feel so lucky to have been supported by the wonderful people at the Kenneth Young Center. And this support has been really important to me, and it's been something that I've been thankful for this whole year, even virtually. Going into this whole Corona experience, I really didn't think we'd end up spending a year and then some online on Zoom. So related to this experience of virtual and hybrid learning, some of our YAC members have created 2 video presentations for this evening. We didn't go into a studio and create polished productions. Instead, we filmed in our homes with what we had to reflect the experience of a virtual school year. We start with what I guess you could call a lighthearted approach. Take a look.
Hey class, how are you doing today? Hey class, I just ran like half a marathon. I walked my cat. I did like an hour of Zumba, and I also made this cute little jello with fruits in it, but I'll spare you the rest of the details. How are we doing? Shazia, how are we doing?
Hi, Miss Alex. I'm so glad to see you. It's been like 2 days, and I'm bored.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm bored. I'm totally running out of things to do in this crazy pandemic. This pandemic, I painted, I read, I dressed up my dog as an astronaut. It's pretty weird. And I played video games. I made a million TikToks. I will totally show it to you guys, but I won't. I cleaned my room more than once. I ironed my socks, and I built a canoe.
That seems like a really long schedule, but it looks like you haven't turned in any of your assignments.
Miss Alex.
Yeah, what's up?
You mentioned that jello you made with the fruits inside. Can I have the recipe?
Oh, for sure. I'll put that in the chat, but just remember the assignments. Hey you, how are you doing?
I'm great, Miss Alex.
So what exactly is it you're doing?
I'm making a sandwich.
That looks like an unusual sandwich.
I know. It's so beautiful. It's like bread, banana, bread, banana, bread, banana, bread, banana, bread, banana.
Well, I'm glad you're nourishing yourself, but let's just pay attention to class.
Okay.
Good morning, Sahiti.
Hi, Miss Alex. So, before I get to class, let me first just pick up this letter that's on my kitchen table. It's this letter that's very, very important. Okay, it's from my banker's dog's best friend's neighbor. Okay, I got the letter, but before I get to class, I also want to show you these trophies. Just look at them. Can you see them? Aren't they so cool?
Those are great trophies.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, one more thing. I need to brush my hair. It's very, very tangled right now. So let me just do that. Let me set up the computer, okay. Get in a few brushes. Okay, I think I'm all ready for class.
Well, that was an exciting little adventure, but we should get started. I'm gonna share my screen now. So we've all been working hard this year, and you've all done great. So I thought it would be a good idea to start off today with a quiz to just, review stuff.
Miss Alex, is this like a game show?
I guess you could say that. It's like a multiple choice quiz.
Then can we use buzzer sounds?
But
Like buzzer sounds, like you ask a question and whoever buzzes their sound first gets to answer the question.
oh, okay, I'm good with that idea. Do y'all want to come out with our buzzer sounds?
Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea.
I have mine.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, you. Great. How about you, Shazia?
I'm going to make my buzzer sound quack.
Excellent. So now Sahiti.
Moo!
Great. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get on with today's quiz. Here's the first review question. And let's make sure to do our buzzer sounds after I've set out all the choices. Today is A, Monday, B, Saturday, C, an A scheduled day, or D, the first day of the rest of your life.
Moo!
Sahiti?
I think the answer is D.
Correct. Next one. May 12th is A, Free Cone Day at Haagen-Dazs in 2020 and Crawfish Day in Shannon, Ireland. B, National School Nurses Day, National Autometer Day, and National Limerick Day. C, National Nutty Fudge Day and National Root Canal Appreciation Day. Or D, B, and C. Go ahead, you.
Is this E?
Let's see. Actually, it was B and C. May 12th is National School Nurses Day, National Autometer Day, National Limerick Day, National Nutty Fudge Day, and National Root Canal Appreciation Day. The person who gets to decide which day is which is A, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, B, Selena Gomez, C, your dentist, or D, no one has any idea.
Quack.
All right, Shazia.
It's definitely Selena Gomez because she's a wizard and she can go back in the past and pick whatever day she wants.
All right, let's see. It's actually D. No one has any idea.
I was really
All right.
confident.
moving along. The class you are in right now is A, History, B, AP Calculus, C, Underwater Basket Weaving, or D, General Studies.
But
Shazia.
I think I can get this one right. It's D, General Studies.
All right. Yes, you are correct. It was D, General Studies. Next one. Which of the following is a discontinued Olympic event? A, the pogo stick relay. B, AP Calculus. C, the 200-meter underwater obstacle race. Or D, Among Us.
Moo.
Sahiti?
It's definitely gotta be D.
Let's see. It's actually C, the 200-meter underwater obstacle race. This event was actually only held once in 1900, in case you were wondering. Which of the following types of students are most likely to be found in a Zoom classroom? A, the pet presenter. B, the unmuted student. C, the TikTok scroller. D, Sahithi. And surprise, there's an E. Every classroom has one of each. You're up.
It's D, isn't it? The answer has been D all along. I knew it. Every question so far, the answer has been D. It's been D. I knew it. It's D, isn't it?
But I agree with you, and I believe the answer is D.
Moo. I disagree. It's definitely gotta be C. Like, what do you think I'm doing right now?
All right, let's see. It is actually E. Every classroom has one of each. All right, students, this is our last question before we head out to breakout rooms. Sophia has to do her laundry in 45 minutes. She has 15 pieces of clothing and has to include 6 towels. It's Thursday. Solve for X. Yeah, what's up?
Can we just go on to the breakout rooms, please?
Sounds like a good idea. So today in your breakout rooms, your group assignment is to come up with 3 4-syllable words to describe the meaning of the universe. I'll see you all back in 5 minutes.
There you have it. Now, on one hand, we can laugh at this experience, but on the other hand, we know that remote and hybrid learning has been challenging to everyone involved. This spring, members of our 4 YACs combined to create a mental health, hybrid learning, and relationship survey. 201 students filled out the survey, and of these respondents, 88% reported feeling less connection in the classroom due to remote and hybrid learning. 66% reported that remote and hybrid learning has negatively affected their mental health, and 38% of students reported being too embarrassed to reach out to an adult about their mental health struggles. This event is called Prevention at the Drive-In, with the goal being to prevent underage drinking and substance misuse. Having community support and positive mental health are 2 of the key protective factors that help students stay healthy and substance-free. For this reason, we are now going to zoom in and hear from YAC members themselves about the support they have received and the support they need from our community.
Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking time out of your super busy day to spend some time with me. And I know that we've had a really overwhelming year and a half, and I can't imagine the kind of jarring transition it's been for a lot of you students. And I really do truly empathize with a lot of you who missed out on events that are really closely tied to the high school experience. But with that being said, I'm just so proud and amazed by all of you and all your resilience and the amazing work that you continue to do, even during your kind of hectic life. Today, I would love to talk to you all and have a conversation about health and the ways that your community can affect that health. Could we start with introductions? So I'll go first, I'll popcorn it off. My name is Marissa. I work with the Kenneth Young Center. I'm also a facilitator for the LGBTQ YAC here. And I absolutely love it. So I'm going to popcorn it off to Faith.
Hi, my name is Faith Massey. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm currently a senior at James B. Conant High School. Weird. I'm involved with a multitude of organizations. I have my own nonprofit, Sharing Our Stories. I'm involved with Students Against Sexual Violence. We've talked to board members about the lack of accountability and a lack of transparency that students need in order to be protected, and many other things. So thank you all for having me today. I'll popcorn it to Ari.
My name is Ari. I also go by she, her pronouns, and I am a junior at Hoffman Estates High School. I am involved in a lot of things similar to Faith, so I see Faith a lot. And one thing that I'm very excited about is a project that I'm planning with a couple of other young organizers. We are doing like a mutual aid event happening in our community, hopefully in late summer. So we're very excited about that, and I'm very excited to be a part of that. So obviously I will be passing it to Lucia.
Hi guys, my name is Lucia. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a junior at Fremd High School. And one thing that I did around last summer was we raised up to $400 in jail bond funds for the Black Lives Matter movement. So I was very proud of that. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Wow, thank you all so much. And I would just love to take a minute and acknowledge all the amazing work that you all have been doing despite the, challenges and the hard times that we've been going through. I think that is absolutely incredible. So if I could kick off this conversation and just ask, what were some of the greatest challenges that you've had to face throughout the year and a half that we've been in quarantine?
One of the most difficult things that we had to go through, or at least I personally had to go through, was just the feeling of restlessness. We had so many days that we just sit behind a computer screen for almost 4 hours, sometimes even more, right? Because we're either at school or we have to join Zoom meetings. So a lot of the times people have difficulties going outside or seeing their friends because we're in quarantine. So I feel like that's definitely one of the greater challenges that I had during this time.
One of the biggest challenges that I faced is isolation. I think that is definitely a big challenge for a lot of people. Because even though I do have like a family around me, I have 2 other siblings, it's still isolating just to be away from the rest of the world. And I think that under the way that our current systems are, community doesn't thrive and function under how our world is right now. And it's isolating when you're not forced to be with people every day, and it shouldn't have to be like that. Our community should be able to exist despite social distancing and safety measures, but that's just not entirely possible under the way that things are right now.
I agree. I think to both of y'all's previous statements, like I think that aided in I learned this new word, but it's high functioning depression. Mm-hmm. I now know, and I'm able to articulate that that's what I experienced, but going through it, it was interesting to say the least. I always struggled mentally, but it really got almost emphasized during the whole pandemic and expectations of others on you and you for yourself, especially if you're an activist or you care about your community. You put these expectations on yourself to do a certain amount of change because you know other people are hurting. But then you often don't think about yourself and you put yourself aside all the time. And I did it so much that it got to a really dangerous level. I needed to literally say stop to everything. I didn't like that. It was new to me. And that in and of itself, just to say, no, I need to stop, was hard. But I've built myself up since then. And it was a huge like eye opener for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hearing lots of themes of, feeling isolated and the importance of mental health. And I think we can all agree really that our community support is so important when we are dealing with these kinds of challenges. And there are a lot of people here with us today who all want to come together and support you all students. What are some things that your school and your community has offered to you during these challenging times?
I think that schools have been able to like push out messages of mental health is important, and here are some resources that you can get, but I feel like people aren't paying attention enough to push it to individual people. Like you see it's pushed out school wide, at least at Hoffman, but if we see particular students struggling, especially with missing assignments, everyone gets all of these emails about missing assignments, and I'm glad that those resources are set up. And so they've been able to provide that for us. But now it's just getting it out and pushing it out. Like I didn't even know the name of my school psychologist, but I know the name of my school resource officer, and I have since freshman year. That's what the school has provided for us, but there's also like cracks in it, I guess.
Yeah, I would like to follow up with what you're talking about right here. And what are some things that your school and that your community can do better? What can they offer to you that you're not getting at this time?
I feel like personally, it's like the resources are there, but when you don't know how to articulate what you need, that is a huge barrier that we don't talk about enough. So yeah, I know I need help, and maybe I do have a trusted person, but I can't even articulate what I need for you to help me. So I don't necessarily, usually I like to say, we should do this, but honestly, I don't even know. I would do it, but I think that's something that needs to be acknowledged first.
For sure. Thank you.
Yeah, going off of what Faith and Ari said, I love how Ari brought up the fact that we have missing assignments, right? Because I feel like as students, all of us have so many gradebook updates that says like, oh, this is an NC or this is 50% because you didn't turn it in. It's just very, very common for literally every single student. And I realized that whenever I see that notification on my iPad, I just get so much anxiety and I feel so bad about myself because I'm like, I can't do anything right? I can't even turn in a simple worksheet. But sometimes seeing it from the student's perspective, it's definitely really difficult for us to manage our time and to see what's important and let these like simple worksheets slide. So it's really hard to see like our gradebook constantly updating or like every student or teacher emailing us about things that we need to do better. I think that one thing the community leaders can help us work through is just having more grace for us and having just a little bit more, I wouldn't say empathy, just a little more guidance and support, because it is very difficult during this time for us to kind of grasp and adapt towards our environment, our situations. So I think that, yeah, just having more grace and understanding that things can be a little bit difficult sometimes.
I think we need less discipline and more like problem solving, more help. Because if you see a student with 30 missing assignments, why is the initial reaction to contact a parent? Because you don't know what their home situation is like. Some parents are extremely understanding about mental health, and there are a lot who aren't. And you don't know. I feel like no one gives us the benefit of the doubt. We're just not turning in missing assignments because we haven't been reminded, because we're lazy, because we don't care. No, like some of us are genuinely struggling, and I feel like teachers have done a very good job on the individual level of providing us with support. Like I have had teachers that I've had to email like, I'm struggling, and they will give me help and they will give me all they can do. But at the administrative level, it feels like I have to cry while writing an email on my iPad before I get anything. Again, I think also the idea that I feel like the police presence in our school is larger than the mental health presence or the people who can help us. So the social workers, the therapists, the psychologists, like your students need help. You see statistics like students of color and disabled students are arrested or they are disciplined at a much harsher level and stuff like that. No one seems to care, and no one asks like why. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing and bringing up a very good point. I think Faith wanted to kind of piggyback off of that thought.
What you're speaking to is literally like an echo chamber of what we read. So in synopsis, the school did an equity audit to see how equitable our practices were or were not. So you got to share your truths in these separate little groups all across the district. Well, they printed out a form and the results came in, right? And we got to see these results and we got to see the quotes of the students. And honestly, I thought I was prepared. I did. I was like, I already know. I read that stuff and it was like, oh my God. And then there's still some teachers, some students, some parents, some hall monitors that will tell you there's still not an issue. So why aren't we addressing it? And it just doesn't have to be just administrators. Yes, the superintendent can make changes and she should, but it takes a village, in my opinion. It takes a community. It takes a group of people to make that change, to make that social dynamic shift and be more supportive rather than punitive, more restorative, more caring, more supporting. So that was my addition.
And like the issue is with that, like, because I completely agree with everything Faith is saying, and I want that so bad. But we have to rely on adults to do it. We can't vote for our school board, even though the decisions, they don't affect the parents as much as they do affect us, is my biggest thing, because we're relying on you.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add? I think this is such an important conversation.
Oh, sorry. Ari, you said that amazing. Couldn't say it better.
You guys both said everything perfectly right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad that we're bringing this up and talking about this because not only are all of you, either filling out college applications, being involved in multiple extracurriculars, you all are advocates. And I think that is huge. And that is almost kind of like an additional job on top of your full-time, student position. So I just really wanted to acknowledge all the work that you all do and just how it really is time for a lot of adults to also step up to the plate as well, because you all are doing the most. You all are doing such an incredible job. So if I may kind of switch gears for a minute, is also acknowledging, the amazing advocacy work that you all do. So what motivates you to continue to get through the school year, to continue to do the extracurriculars that you all are involved in?
I think the first thing that comes into mind when I'm thinking about this question is definitely my friends and the people I choose to surround myself with, because kind of ironically, even though we were all social distanced, my friends and I have become like closer than ever throughout this time, like whether we're FaceTiming or we're trying to figure out a time where all of us have quarantined in a long time so we can hang out. And I just think that having the right kind of support system around me during like these tough times is just very, very crucial into having a stable mental health, And yeah, I'm just really, really thankful for them. And they motivate me to just continue on doing my schoolwork, advocating for things that I believe in, and just showing my voice. So I'm very, very proud to have them as my friends, actually. And I think another group of people that really motivate me is also like individual teachers. I can't speak for every single teacher because there are some, which I will definitely not name, that kind of hinder my mental health and how it's been going. But there are some specific people that genuinely, like, they show their care, and they're just, it doesn't matter what kind of course they teach. It could be my physics teacher, it could be my math teacher, but just these specific people reaching out to me and emailing me and giving me that sort of support that I need is just, it makes me feel like they're on my side. And in a very ideal circumstance, teachers are supposed to always be on your side. However, with the school system that we have right now, it always feels like we're fighting against them in a way. And we kind of just need to be more unified in this way, I guess. And I'm just really thankful for whenever I'm emailing my teachers and saying, can I have an extension on this? I'm really struggling with this certain situation. They would just automatically reply super fast, and they would be like, oh, of course, like I understand your family comes first, your health comes first. And it just makes you feel so much less alone. And you see those teachers as like actual people instead of just things that you kind of fear, you know? So yeah, I'm really thankful for that.
That was a good point. This one I kind of struggle with because I have to ask, like I have to remind myself because I'm gonna be 100% honest. I still struggle. Like I still sit in bed and I'm just like, I can't do nothing. I will never amount to anything. I am trash. You know, like those thoughts that we all know and love. So I have to remind myself, this will not be forever. And I'm not gonna lie. Some days that was literally the only thing that I was holding on to. Cause when I get in those moments, you know, I push away my friends. You know, I do have friends that support me, but I would never want to put that on them because I know that they care. So I distance myself, and mine is a little different from yours, but I have to say, like, this will not be forever. And what you're learning right now will last you a lifetime. You know, you're learning yourself, you're learning your triggers, you're finally acknowledging that you have triggers, and you're learning tools that actually help you. And then you're spreading your message. So that has definitely been one of the only things that's got me motivated to finish the year strong.
Yeah, I mean, God, I don't even know how I can follow up with Lucia and Faith, but I haven't thought enough about the things that motivate me and keep me going, whether it's internally or externally. I think the biggest thing right now is time. I think time motivates me the most. Not like, oh, I'm on a deadline. I got to push through this. Sometimes that works, but the biggest thing is having the time to really put forth to something. And I think that's all I can ask from everyone in my community is for time. I am a huge advocate for these shorter school days because it feels like I'm getting the same amount out of this school year than I did any other year, except for like the lack of, activities, right? So time for me was the biggest thing this year because I am doing more than I ever have before when it comes to this stuff.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to add? I'm definitely hearing lots of themes of, yes, I need more time. I need your empathy. I need your grace, as Lucia had put it earlier. And I think that these are things, yeah, we can all use a little bit more, especially in our student to school life. So my last question for you all is that next year when schools might be going back full time and in person, what should schools be making a priority for their students when they return in the fall?
Free food. Every single kid, if we can get there, needs free food. It could help so many things. And I don't think we have enough. Our peripheral is not wide enough to understand how free food is so important. Every kid needs a free meal. I would argue 2 free meals, but I'd be happy with lunch. So that's my number one thing is free food.
Yeah, I think you bring up like an amazing point. I never even thought of that. And I never really thought that food was such an issue. But now thinking of it, after you were just speaking on this topic, I realized that everyone getting the access to free food is extremely important because you just feel cared, right? You feel like the whole entire school body wants to support you. And even for the people who are less fortunate and cannot afford food, this would be definitely a more convenient way to realize that school is not only a place for you to learn, but it's supposed to be a place where you feel safe mentally, emotionally, academically, physically. In any way, school is not supposed to be a place you fear or have so much anxiety towards. And I realized that something really funny to me was when I started going back in person on some days, like the night before, I would feel so much anxiety. It's like a lot of social anxiety. It feels like it's almost like the first day jitters or something. So you would go to school and you would see all these people in masks, and I just felt really isolated in a way, and I felt like I was a new kid in class. And I feel like it's going to be that same emotion for a lot of students next year when everyone is going back to school in person. There's going to be some people who are afraid of getting in like close proximity with other people. There's going to be some students afraid to raise their hand or speak out because for so long they've been stuck in their rooms. They have no idea how to socially interact with other people. So I think that one of the important things the schools should kind of learn from this is just we need to be able to prioritize our mental health first. Like that should be one of the first priorities for us to notice because it's just so much more important throughout in a long-term goal or anything like that in the future. It's so much more important than our actual grades or our GPA. And if these counselors or these teachers or any of the administrators realize this, I think it'd be definitely a smoother transition to in person because it'll definitely give us an idea that at least there are some people on our side.
Lucia, you make a great point. Just support. That's what I hear. Like, just support well-rounded, no matter if you excel in one area or the other. School should help you in all areas and not just academically. I feel like to even do any type of change like that, teachers, administrators, superintendents, everyone, hall monitors, everyone needs to understand and face their fragility. Because if you're not facing with fragility, and let me explain what fragility is, we have value over the things that we do. For instance, I'm an activist, right? Well, I consider myself an activist. If someone says, oh, you don't speak that well, or, you know, they're challenging, you could speak better. I'm threatened by the value of my speaking skills in relation to my activism. So I'm now internalizing that as, oh, I'm not that good of an activist. So then I feel defensive. Take that with teachers. You ask a teacher, hey, you should teach critical race theory. Hey, you should understand your biases. You should watch your prejudice. They're going to feel defensive. So if we don't address, and I mean everybody, literally inside or outside the school, address your fragility in order to make change. That's number one. It's a non-negotiable at this point. You save lives by addressing your fragility, whether you know it or not. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, all of you, for all the emotional labor that you have put into all the energy and the time and the advocacy work that you all do. Really, I just want to acknowledge that and highlight it, that the last year and everything that we've been through has been more challenging than any of us, I think, could ever possibly imagine. And the current events that we have been living through have definitely kind of shown a spotlight on these gaps in support and areas where things need to change. And while that does feel wildly uncomfortable, it is young people like you who are all really leading the charge and really making a change and a difference in the world. So absolutely, thank you all so much. I deeply appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, because like you said, unless it was students like you who said something, a lot of things wouldn't change. Is there any kind of final remarks, anything you would like to add on to, anything you would like to tell the community members as like a closing remark today?
I wanted to say that like I'm really proud of us, like all of us. Even thank you so much to Marissa for like giving us this opportunity. And yeah, right, like there's a reason that we were this honest. I liked how Aria and Faith were talking about we're not just here to spill our guts. This was a difficult decision for us to make, to even like join the Zoom meeting and start talking about things that we were kind of afraid of shining light on, right? And if you guys respond with this just by kind of throwing it off, it kind of throws away this whole entire concept and the real reason and purpose that we're here. And so I think that I just want to say that I really, really appreciate all the efforts that the school system has done already to help us. But there's, like everyone has said before, there's always room for growth. And if you guys become more open-minded and give us not only the platform to listen to, but also have the ears and the right amount of openness, I guess, to kind of accept what we have to say. I think that that would be an amazing way for us to realize that teachers and students and the whole entire school system should be on one like unified ground instead of just different voices coming together and arguing.
Part of me does love school. I love school and I love our community. I love it. But we're doing all this because I love what school could be even more. Like I love now, but I even more with all of my heart, I love what it could be. And it means so much to me and your entire student body to think all the time and to make steps towards what school could be.
I would add, we appreciate you. Like, that is number one. We appreciate all the work that you've done, that you will do, that you're currently doing, but there's always room to grow. That's all we're saying. Take heed to what we said. We have become emotionally vulnerable to you, so let it be worth it. Take what we just taught you and do something with it. Make the change. Because I can speak confidently for every one of us here. We didn't come here to just spill our guts for you to listen and say, oh, that was nice. Make the change. We're counting on you because we need you. That's all.
I want to finish up by saying thank you. Thank you to the students who worked to put on this event. Thank you to families and communities that came out to support us. Thank you to students who support other students, and thank you to all the adults here, parents, caregivers, teachers, school social workers and administrators, community and coalition members, and KYC staff who have taken the time to listen. You being here tonight is a testament that we can come together as a community in resilience and support in response to crises. In the words of one of my favorite poets, Morgan Harper Nichols, hold tight to hope amidst all the unanswered questions, for even in uncertainty, there is strength to be found. Today and tonight, I think we found that strength and we showed up for ourselves and our community. Thank you.